We'll pick up this story where it starts. Man meets woman, woman meets man, and it's love. In no time at all, they're united as one, living a good life, not a single worry or concern, until one day, out of the blue, the snake of a man worms his way into their lives. Now the couple, they were naive and easily deceived. After all, the man was so charismatic, and he made them question everything they thought they knew about the line between good and evil. Promising them power and higher status, he convinced them to go on a heist that would mean certain death as innocently as if they were going out to eat. Blinded by the man's words, the couple lost everything, their property, their assets, and their masterfully crafted home, meant to remain in their family for generations. As time flew by, the couple adjusted to their new life. Now working hard for a living, the man cultivated a farm in a remote village, and the woman survived the moaning and groaning of labor to bear 2 children, young boys. Garrett, the elder, was a farmer like his father, tending the earth with stubborn dedication, yielding plentiful harvests and vast fields. Armin, on the other hand, was a shepherd, his flock thriving in the lush pasture lands surrounding the village, and the villagers adored Armin for his gentle heart and the bounty he shared with them, while they often turned away from Garrett, whose struggles seemed to reflect his restless spirit. The family settled into their serene, quiet lives, cut off from the rest of the world, the memories of their downfall remaining in the past, giving way to a new sense of peace. Unbeknownst to the loving couple, though, their eldest son, Garrett, had formed an unsettling friendship with a stranger, a man with a devilish grin and an unnerving aura. This was no ordinary man. He was the same serpent who had led his parents astray. The man listened to Garrett's woes with rapt attention, his eyes gleaming with a sinister light. "Why should your brother have all the glory?" he would whisper, planting seeds of envy in Garrett's heart. "Just think, if he were out of the picture, your parents would finally see your worth." It came to pass that Garrett and Armin's grandfather visited, and he was the most revered elder of the ages, so a feast was thrown to mark the occasion. As the locals gathered and prepared, Garrett and Armin set aside offerings to honor their grandfather, and when the night's festivities came to a head, it was time for the boys to bring their offerings up. Armin's offering, which was the finest lamb from his flock, tender and pure, was immediately received by their grandfather. Campfire flames danced and flickered, illuminating Armin's face, which shone with joy. But Garrett's offering of wilted grains and meager crops was shunned. Instead of acceptance, their grandfather offered words of advice. "Don't look so dejected. I would gladly accept you if you do right by me. The serpent's poison is eager to control you. Subdue it and become its master." A cold silence fell over the festivities. Flushed with embarrassment, Garrett runs off, throwing his rejected gifts to the floor. Armin, guided by concern and brotherly love, quickly called after him, "Brother, where are you going?" Realizing his brother wouldn't stop following him, Garrett turns around and invites him into the fields. "It calms me there," he says. Armin nods in agreement, leaving Garrett to navigate deeper into his fields, to the only safe place he knew, the only place he felt seen. And there he was, a man he could always confide in. Without so much as a breath, Garrett begins detailing the events of the feast, letting the truth of his hostility and bottled resentment seep from his pores. And when the ranting is over, Garrett is almost surprised to see his younger brother standing there with tears in his eyes. He stands, silent, frozen, and before he can explain himself, he hears his brother. "Brother, who are you talking to?" A breeze bends the wheat as the brothers begin to argue over a presence that's not quite there for one, and all too real for the other. Wrath surged within Garrett, and in a moment of blind fury, he attacked his brother with a rock. The cries and the shifting of wheat melded as Garrett raged on, blow after blow being stressed with a new released grievance. A grin stretched across the shadows. See, that man wasn't a man at all. He was a spirit seeking souls to control, and he found one, Garrett. Oh, what easy prey he was, harboring the envy of his younger sibling, who received all the attention he so desperately craved. The next day, the grandfather, looking for Armin, asked Garrett, "Where's your brother?" "I don't know," Garrett responded. "Am I my brother's guardian?" Just then a rising moan filled the air. "What have you done?" the grandfather shouted. "Listen! Your brother's blood cries to me from the ground. Now you are cursed and banished from the ground, which has swallowed your brother's blood. No longer will the ground yield good crops for you, no matter how hard you work. From now on, you will be a homeless wanderer of the earth." As Garrett protested his punishment, red-tinted dust began to pelt him, whipping by with an unexpected sharpness. Garrett screamed as a dust storm engulfs him and a searing heat rises over his skin. The kind Armin turned vengeful in the afterlife, marking his brother's soul with the weight of his sin, forever doomed to wander the earth with this guilt and shame tattooed all over him. The tragic tale of envy and betrayal gets etched into the village's history, along with one other story whispered among the people, one of a serpent seeking to poison and devour the souls from generation to generation. Rumor has it the serpent is disguised as a man prowling around, waiting for the next soul to ensnare.